Hello and welcome back to the channel, fellow farmers. Farmer Murphy here. Well, I've been busy since we last chatted, but it may not seem like I accomplished a lot. As you may recall, in our last episode, we had a number of rocks that had suddenly appeared in our fields, even though we had taken care of them, and our pallets, particularly the tomato ones, were acting strangely. Well, I've since learned that this was because of the update. The update had a bunch of fixes and added some new equipment in, but in order to take advantage of the fixes, you needed to do a new game save. So that meant that I had to um, I deleted our old game and started all over again. And I've set everything up pretty much the way it was. One thing I did change is I changed the color of our trailer. I know that shouldn't be a big deal, but I have all the same equipment. I had listed it all out. One thing is it's all new now. Of course, we had actually our trailer and our Deutz were bought used, but I had to replace them new. Um, I replaced the money to exactly where it was. The only thing I forgot to take notice of was I forgot to write down what we had in our silos. I was though pretty sure I knew what we had as far as potatoes and sorghum went because I had looked at them recently, but I had completed two soybean harvests the last thing I did, and I didn't look to see what we actually had left. I know from the one harvest, it looked like the trailer, as I recall, was about half full. So what I did is I just threw one trailer load of soybeans into our silo. So it may not be exact, but it should be close. Um, One interesting thing, I put the greenhouses in at about the same time that we added them, as near as I could tell, and the same with the beehives. But we've got honey now, and I don't remember. I thought they'd been in for about 24 hours, but anyways, uh, I put these beehives in game day yesterday, and overnight we've got some honey. So I don't know if that is part of the update. There's a fix, or just what the difference is. But anyway, that being said, um, also our fields are there are no stones, and part of the update it tells you now in the field info there. It tells you what your yield bonus is. So you can see we have 100% yield bonus here. Um, this field here is 98, and that's simply because it, when you start the game, it is already cultivated, so there's nothing to mulch. So the mulching gives us the last 2%, but our other two fields are 100. So we should be good where we left off. What I did do is I've grabbed a couple contracts here. Um, these should have been fixed. So I'm going to carry on and do these and make sure that they are indeed working. And then I thought I'd grab, there's lots of choices here, but I thought I'd grab this spraying one. We'll borrow the equipment because it's using the sprayer. We haven't had a chance to use that yet. And then I'll use that and complete some of these other spraying ones. So that is what the plan is for now. So I'm going to go ahead and get our harvester. The field that we're going to do, the oat field, is just the next one adjacent to here. So I'll go ahead and get that done, and I will bring you back in and update you when we get close to completion. As you may recall, one of the issues that we had with the game on the initial release was the fact that the crops with the straw harvest were not, those contracts were not working correctly. That was one of the things that the patch fixed, but in order for us to take advantage of that, we needed to reset the map. That was one of the biggest reasons I did that. So I have completed the harvest here on field 39, which was an oat crop. It's all in our trailer, so the sell point is up the hill. So I'll drive up there and we'll see if we can complete this contract. If all goes well, or it goes as it should, we should have no trouble doing that. So I'll meet you up top. Okay, we're up here at the sell point, and it's the moment of truth to see if these contracts are working. And indeed they are. So that's good news. That'll help us out because like we had discussed before, we're just coming into harvest season for a lot of these crops, so we can take whatever harvesting contracts are the most beneficial to us. So I'm going to head back down to the farm and we'll dump this crop off in our silo. And I think then one of the other things that they changed is they changed the apparently changed the worker costs. They're excuse me, they're supposed to be not as extravagant as they once were. So I think I'll get set up. I did grab I had another, I think it was a barley one if I remember correctly, or wheat, I can't remember now. Anyways, another harvest that I'll get set up on and get a worker going on, and we'll get on and we'll check out that new self-propelled sprayer. Deutzfahr goes down the hill just fine. Actually, it came up the hill really well as well. I know it was a bit of an expense, but when we got it used like that, is the only reason I did it. Although you can see this is a new one. That was one of the things we had to do because we reset the map. Well, we're back at the farm. I've dropped our oats off in the silo. I have brought over the self-propelled sprayer. This is a new unit for Farming Simulator in FS22. Pretty sharp looking. So we have a wheat harvest here on field 13. So I'm going to get set up on that and we'll get a worker started. What's another thing they changed in the update is they've adjusted the worker prices, so it's not not supposed to be so bad, excuse me. But we'll get that going, and then we'll go ahead and we'll check this unit out on field 30 and see how it works. So once I get that worker going, I'll bring you back in. Well, we're up here on field 13. I've got a worker going on this harvest here. We'll hit him carry on. We'll come back and empty out the trailer. Or, sorry, empty out the harvester with our trailer when it needs to be done. But we'll just let him carry on. And we'll go down and we'll take a look at that spraying contract. I have to say again how impressed I am with how well this header trailer works. Now, I haven't had occasion to use any other header trailer yet in FS22. On all my farms, I'm still using that same harvester, but it really snaps onto that trailer and stays put. So hopefully all the rest of the ones in game do that. It works really well. Anyways, I'll head back down to the sprayer. I've already got it set up on field 30, and I'll meet you there. Okay, we're down here at field 30 with our lease sprayer. I have to say it's a pretty nice looking compact little unit, but one thing I'm already impressed about, it has a road speed of 60 kilometers an hour. So I don't think there's any sprayers, self-propelled sprayers that I've seen that in game that are that fast. So that's pretty nice. So let's get it unfolded here. Check out that unfold animation. Oh, neat, the wheels, the track automatically spreads. Nice. Well, we'll go, I think I'll just set a worker off on this one, just because it looks like it's one of those fields that's going to be hard to see where we've done. we'll set a worker off and we'll just tag along for the ride. Not a super wide boom on it, but 4,000 liter tank. It should be able to do a couple fields. Now, I wouldn't mind having one of these on the farm. I think it's about 260,000 to buy. So we've got to grow our farm a fair bit before we can justify that, but ultimately I wouldn't mind having one of these. Let's take a look at the inside. Fancy. Fancy schmancy. Oh, let's see how he makes out turning around. Oh, he's going to back around. That should be fine. I've noticed in FS22 that liquid fertilizer doesn't seem to be a bad way to go either. It's not as pricey as it was, I think, in FS19. I actually haven't done a comparison. That's just kind of you know, an observation from playing. Maybe I should do a test on that, because I know in FS19 it was way cheaper to use solid excuse me, solid fertilizer. That persistent cough just won't quite go away. Oh, pretty nice. I like that. So we could have one of these and we could both do our weed treatment and our fertilizer. I just saw the warning come up that our worker's tank is just about full. So we'll leave this guy carry on and we'll go empty the harvester tank, and I will catch up with you guys when we get these jobs done. I've completed the harvesting contract and the excess wheat is in our silo, and I also completed those spraying contracts. And if we look at the weather here, we can see that rain is on its way. So I picked up this large cultivating contract and I borrowed the equipment, and that's here at the store. So that's what I'm going to get set up, and that's we'll take care of that. And I'll probably continue to work on cultivating contracts until it gets dark. It's already 3 o'clock, so I think that'll wrap us up for this day on the farm. So anyways, when I get this transported to the field, we'll set it up and see how it works. We're down at field 26. Let's get this unfolded here. I didn't check to see, but I imagine this is probably the largest cultivator in the game. I suspect we'll get a worker going. Oh, it's a disc harrow, actually, I guess, not a cultivator. I thought that when we picked up the Deutz-Fahr, it's like 336 horsepower, I believe. Thought it might be our big tractor that we use in this game, but even our cart is like just about 18,000 liters and full. It's about all it can pull. So if we're going to get a larger cart, if we upgrade our combine, and excuse me, and want to get a larger cart, like there's something like 37,000 or 40,000 liters, we're going to need to get a tractor with higher horsepower. On a lot of the European maps I played, British maps primarily, 350 horsepower tractor was my big tractor. Don't know if we'll get something like this, but there's a Fent, I think, that's got 500 and some horsepower, maybe something like that. I have taken a look at the used equipment too and been keeping an eye on there. There's nothing that we're interested in just yet anyway. We'll watch and see how the worker makes out with this corner here because it's not perpendicular, it's a bit of an angle. Oh, good thing I still have traffic turned off. I had turned it off. I had it back on, but I turned it off again because I had used workers to deliver some equipment. I have used workers a bit more on this particular episode, and it does seem that the prices are a bit better. Well, we'll let this worker carry on. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and look and see what there is for disc harrows that we can lease and see if it makes sense if we lease one. Sorry about that. Another coughing bout. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm going to go see if it makes sense for us to lease disc harrow and knock off some of these other contracts with our tractor. So I will go and check it out and let you know. I'm back down here at the farm. I did lease a 6 meter disc harrow that I will go and knock off some of those smaller cultivating contracts with what time is left today. Um, and I've checked on that other what the leased or borrowed equipment came from that contract. That's actually a 16 meter shallow cultivator that's on that John Deere. So that's what that device is. But anyways, I think I'll finish out this game day with doing this cultivating, seeing as the rain is threatening and there isn't a whole lot of daylight left today. I'm not going to bother showing clips of the contracts being complete. Right now, we're going through quite a few in a day. If anybody has any heartburn with that, they can leave a comment below. But if everybody's fine, just taking my word for what I'm doing, I'll just let you know what kind of contracts I'm up to. You should see the money go up and you'll know what it's from. But if you do want to see all those screenshots, let me know and I will do that. But for now, I will see you the next game day tomorrow morning. Oh, and by the way, I checked when I was at the farm. We don't have any pallets there other than the honey, so but maybe we'll have some to deliver tomorrow. But anyways, we'll see you tomorrow morning on the farm. Well, good morning and welcome back to the farm. You can see it's early the next morning and our money has gone up considerably. I completed most of those cultivating contracts last night. I worked on until about 10:30 game time. Then I shut her down for the evening. But I did, if we go and look, pick up, there was a couple more. So I borrowed the equipment for those. And there's a number of fertilizing ones. I'm going to start working on those at the same time. And we take a look at those fertilizing ones. You can see that they're worth a fair bit. And we compare it here. There's a sugar beet contract I'd like to do. Now, it seems like it's worth a fair bit, 16,000, but those fertilizing contracts are almost double that, and it'll take half the time to do those fertilizing contracts it will the sugar beet one. But I am planning on Sorry about that. I had to cough. I am planning on doing that sugar beet one, but because I want to do the cut sugar beets, it's something new, and they actually pay out. It looks like pretty good. So we'll take that leftover crop from that sugar beet harvest, and we'll do cut sugar beets. So that's the plan for today. I don't know if I'll get the sugar beet harvest done before the end of this game day, but that's kind of what I'm going to be working on. But a couple things I wanted to mention that I forgot is with the update, the field info was changed a little bit. You guys didn't get to see that when I was doing these fields, but you will in the future. As you're going along, it'll highlight in blue what needs to be done. And when I had it seeded and rolled and everything I thought done, there were no visible weeds. It said there were weeds growing and to use a mechanical weeder. Well, I had purchased a mechanical weeder, and actually in the last episode, one segment I thought I had recorded, I hadn't, and that was the one where I actually said I purchased it rather than leasing it. But let's go have a look at the garage here. And if we look at weeders, so I had purchased this one for the farm, and so I repurchased it because it was only 9,500, and it's a 6 meter weeder, and the Steyr pulls that no problem. But I had that one, but because I was kind of in a hurry to get things done, I had also leased the largest weeder here. But when I went over our field with it said needs weeding, with this mechanical weeder, nothing happened. But when I went over with this one, it said that it had been weeded and the weeds were removed. And if you look, the description on both are exactly the same. So I really don't understand why ours didn't work, but I think going forward, that is something we will invest in the, excuse me, the larger weeder, because that worked, immediately after seeding. So that was one thing I wanted to mention. The other thing is I learned, I didn't really realize, is that these beehives have a range associated with them. If we come and look at it, here it says 50 meters. And the larger, excuse me, the beehive you get, the greater that distance is. So what I thought we'd do, so we did so well on those contracts last night, that I'm going to sell this one and take and put a larger one in so that our bees can reach any of our fields. And I think it was potatoes, sunflowers, and canola it gives a boost to, but I don't know if they need to have those products within range of the bees. So I thought, well, we won't take any chances. We will go ahead and do that. Now, I don't know if we have to demolish it, if it actually shows up in our garage menu. No, looks like, oops. So we have to go down here then. Go across to demolish. No, we don't want to do the bunker silo. Oh yeah, and it sells it for us. Yeah, we want to sell that. Okay. No, I don't. Still don't want to get rid of my bunker silo. Thank you. Animals, go down to bees. And I think we'll put in that one. I think this one was like 50, 75, 100, I believe, something like that, and that's 150 odd. I think that will do for now. It's enough an investment here. I'll swing around, try and get this. Ooh, that looks pretty good right there. So we'll put that one in. We didn't get any tomato pallets, and we actually have 286 liters on the go. So I think we're probably going to end up with 400 liters on a pallet, judging from what we saw when I had done this before doing the new game save, where we had 100 liters and it was just on one corner, and still no lettuce. Interestingly enough, I don't think we've gotten any more honey since the other day. So I think that's the same amount we had. So showed up and rapidly, much quicker than it did on the other ones, and now it seems to have stopped. So anyway, enough of my rattling on. So I'm going to go take care of those cultivating contracts and get the fertilizing ones done. There's nothing new there. And then when we get set up to do the sugar beets, I'll bring you back in. I don't know if we'll get the sugar beet one done today, but we'll excuse me, we'll get it started, and we may have to finish that on the next game day. So until then, I'll catch up with you later. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, our money's gone up a little bit. I've completed the contracts we were working on, the fertilizing and sowing contracts. I am now down here at field 36. I have some borrowed equipment, and there's quite a lucrative sowing contract down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a worker set off on this, because we're going to go over and complete that harvesting contract for sugar beets. So we'll let the worker carry on with this. And I'll meet you over at field 46. Well, here we are at field 46. This is our borrowed equipment. This is the sugar beet we're going to do. And not that I was particularly excited about doing a large sugar beet harvest, but I did want the extra contract so we can take a look at doing some cut sugar beets, which is something new to FS22 that I haven't done. So I've set up here, I'm going to take a bit off the end here just so it gives me some more room to turn around. I am going to start a Let's Play 2 on No Man's Land. I came out the other day and I left it for a day or so. I just wanted to make sure there are no map updates. I've kind of got everything set up. We'll see how that goes. Going to be a little bit different than this. It's not going to be a pure survival mode, but I'll explain when we get there. But something to look forward to. I'm afraid this sugar beet harvest will probably carry on into the evening as well. I actually haven't been working. I try and stop working on the farm like in game time, you know, in the 9 or 10 o'clock. I don't like going past that normally if I can't help it. But you know, something like this, if it's just about done, I'll carry on. I think it was a potato harvest I did that I actually worked in game time till about 1 o'clock in the morning. It's the same harvester that we had in FS19. Well, we'll let that worker carry on, and I'm getting the hopper full here, and I will catch up with you in a little bit. Well, as you can see, we've got the styer down here at the store. Those other contracts are continuing, but I wanted to customize our styer here. What I want to do is I want to add a front loader attacher. We'll go with the quickie, I think. We'll do that, yes. And then we'll run over. What it is, I've got some lime pallets left over that I want to be able to move. So we're going to need pallet forks. And we're going to need the loader itself. That one should do the trick. Maybe we'll change. Yeah, I should match our tractor pretty nice. Never been a huge fan of the pallet forks. I used to use the big bag lifter in the CZ pack for most of that in FS19. All right, I'll get this over to the farm. Sorry about cutting that last one off. Just our granddaughter brought home this cold from daycare. Now my wife has actually had it much worse than I have, but it just seems like every time I record I got this little nagging cough that I can't seem to get rid of. Well, I just barely got a hold of that one. So I apologize for that. Hopefully this will go away, because it's really a pain in the butt. It seems like it's, like I said, as soon as I go to record is when it seems to act up the most. Whoops. Oh, what's going on there? I think... Oh, that's not the greatest. Like I said, never been a huge fan of the old pallet forks, but we don't have the CZ big bag lifter, so we don't have much choice. But I'll go ahead and get the rest of these moved. I thought I'd just bring you back in for that. I'm sure I'm going to have to go and empty that harvester here pretty quick. And I will carry on with that beet harvest. And the next time you see me, that should be complete. Well, I just dumped the last load of sugar beets up here at the grain mill. You can see where I am up near field 23 there. I had to use the train again. I tried to cart my first load up the hill with the tractor provided, and before I even reached the grain mill, the harvester was full again. So I did the same thing we did with the potatoes, carted it to the lower train station and used the train to bring it up. But I have completed that contract. It is just a little after 10, so that's not too bad. Get rid of that. If we take a look here, we have 88,000 liters of sugar beets left, so that's not too bad. And we'll go ahead and complete that. And I think we'll call it a day. Sorry, I had to chop that off there. Another coughing spell. I think that's what I'll ask Santa to bring me, is something that'll get rid of this darn cough. Like I said, it's not too bad, but it just seems like every time I try and record, then, you know, start hacking up a little bit. Anyways, I think we'll call it there for today on the farm. It was a pretty productive day. Our funds are up pretty significantly. And I think that's the end of this episode. So if you have enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you're enjoying this series, I encourage you to subscribe. Feel free to share or comment. And until I see you next time, Farmer Murphy out.